Hello. So, I came across this story about mask worms, and people have apparently been discovering these little black thread fiber-like things in the blue surgical masks. And when exposed to heat and water, moisture, or your breath, things like that, they seem to move. This website is TimTruth.com. He's got a channel on Odyssey, and he's very good at collating all of this kind of stuff. He's collated all of these videos, and so yeah, loads of people filming these little tiny threads. You have to see them like on a microscopic scale, and they all seem to be alive. And when I first found out about this, it was a little bit freaky. Seems to be quite genuine. Like lots of people discovering. You can see people unboxing their masks, getting the camera on it. You see it, and then they pull out the fiber, and then apply breath or steam or something to it, and then it starts wriggling. I mean, have a look at this guy. When he starts focusing on it, it takes a while. And there he is, little wormlet. That's on your face mask apparently. So that has been pretty freaky, and there's been a few videos. There was this interview here with Dr. T, and I like Dr. T, and she was going into kind of studying it, and she did lots of tests on it. She found loads of new masks, and they were on everyone, and all this kind of stuff, and found loads of these things. She's got lots of videos on it. So it's pretty weird. So it's like, what's going on, And nowadays there's just so many crazy things going on. You kind of think, could it be true? No, it can't be true. But you kind of think, well, God, it could be. I don't know. Don't know what they're capable of these days. So anyway, I looked into it. And my belief is that they're not worms. And the reason is because basically, just watch this guy's video. Is one of the best videos. MicrobeHunter. He does this big kind of debunking video. And he basically says this is a natural phenomenon. So you can get sellotape. You can put the sellotape on your trousers. See. Even as I'm explaining this, I can hear there's some people who will be like, "Good, you haven't lost your mind, Bob. So that's good." But there's some people who are probably thinking I work for the FBI or something. I'm a what do they call it, shill or something. But I don't. I'm not. I'm just. This is what I genuinely believe. So this guy, he does a good job. I think his explanation is most likely the right explanation. So you can get fibers from your trousers with sellotape, and you can peel it off, and you get these little fibers on the side. And I tried this as well, and you can hold it over steam. I held it over the kettle, and I could see it. It's very little. You could see it wriggling in the same kind of worm-like fashion. So that happens, and that is a physical thing. Now, one thing that people say though is that these fibers on the mask seem to move much more. They bend around. They're much more than these kind of fibers you get from your trousers. But I think one of the reasons for that is because these masks are made of polypropylene. This is just I'm guessing. And polypropylene. These are the masks made of polypropylene. It says there. This article says made of polypropylene. It's fairly uncontroversial. And polypropylene is hydrophobic, which seems pretty uncontroversial as well. So this is a hydrophobic material, and this MicrobeHunter, he does another video, which I'm surprised you didn't talk about in the debunking video, where he looks at these masks and shows how hydrophobic they are. And this bit here is like he put ink around a patch of the mask, and it just kind of totally avoids it. It's very hydrophobic. When he does it in the cotton, it goes straight in, and on the tissue. So I'm imagining that's why they're moving around much more than normal, and that's why they're kind of activated by water. It's the hydrophobic nature of them, and that strikes me as the most probable explanation. So there is that. Now there are still a few other kind of loose end, kind of lingering questions I have about it. The first is that Dr. T mentioned that she only found these black fibers on the new masks. She had some old masks and she couldn't find it on there. And originally I thought, well, maybe this polypropylene is a new material they're using, but doesn't seem to be the case. Seems to be a polypropylene. I've got a patent from 1995 for masks here, and they mentioned using polypropylene material, and seems to be that they've been using that for a while. So I don't know why they're only in the new masks and not the old. Now I don't know if that is even true. That's just her anecdotal story. I don't know whether she's tested that widely or whether it was just one box she had. But still, even if that's the case, I feel like it's more likely that a factory process explanation would explain it away, that there's something to do with the factory process that has meant that some of these stray fibers seem to be just loose. Now, you've obviously got this other problem of like, well, why are there stray fibers, plastic fibers, and is that safe to breathe in? That's a whole other kind of question you could go down, and that's possible. I suspect they would say that it's minor. It's only minor, and you shouldn't have to worry about it. But that's a different issue. But I don't think they're living organisms. Yeah. So yeah, it's probably a factory process explanation. And the other thing is, well, that some people are saying they're finding it on the swabs, the test swabs. Now, I haven't seen many of those videos. There was one where it was like coated in them, which made me think that seemed like a setup or something. It was like there was too many of them, because you would have just seen that. Anybody who pulled that out of the thing and had that many on them, because they seemed to be quite big. And I've got some test swabs, and I looked and I couldn't see any on them. But it could be that it's just dust from the air, that when they pull it out and they're looking on the test swabs, the little bits of fibre that's just in the air fall on them. And apparently 33% of fibres in indoor environments are microplastics, according to this study that was done a couple of years ago. Don't know if that's true, but could be that there's a lot of microfiber type plastics in the air. They fall on the swab and then they do the movement thing. I don't know, but that was just a loose end that I wasn't sure about. Yeah, and but basically I think I'm not too worried about it. I think it's more likely to be a physical explanation with fibers than it is that these are actual living organisms. Just two final things to say about that. The first was that it felt quite good for me to realise that, oh good, this is debunked, because for the last year it's almost like every rabbit hole, every claim, every conspiracy theory, every rabbit hole that I start going down, I find myself thinking, well, this can't be true, and then I'm finding the evidence and thinking, oh my god, this could actually be true, and there's like scarily large amounts of evidence for every rabbit hole I go down. And this one I was thinking, oh god, this can't be true as well, can it? And it was quite nice to know that my rational faculties haven't left me, I don't believe, because there is this feeling of like, people say that in uncertain times you're more prone to believing in conspiracy theories because people crave certainty. And I don't think that's what I was doing. I felt like my brain was on right, and I was trying to rationalise everything. But you do sometimes wonder when you start believing some pretty far-fetched things, and you think, God, is that what's happening? But I don't think so. And anyway, with this, it's like, oh, good, okay, I haven't lost my mind. I don't think they're worms. But the other thing as well, because I can still think, I think there are going to some people are going to think I'm wrong about that, and I could be. Who knows? But I could be. But the only other thing I wanted to say is that it seems to me at the moment there's maybe because of the uncertainty, it seems to me there's this divide between the left and the right a little bit, I think, and there are some people on the left who are just believing everything they're told. It doesn't matter what the authorities tell them, they just believe it. They're so obedient to everything, and it's weird. They're just like trusting everything they're told. It's like, okay, that's weird. But then you've got the other side, people on the right, who are trusting nothing, and it's like everything they're told is a lie. Every conspiracy theory is true. If you don't believe in the conspiracy theory, you're a shill. You're working for the government. You're a whatever. And it's these two extremes. And I think the truth is probably somewhere in between. And you need to kind of keep your head screwed on right and try and play the odds, follow the facts as best as you can. Yeah. And so that's what I think about that. Okie dokie. Bye bye.